What's up guys, I'm Dean, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a movie review and it's a movie I've been waiting such a long time to see, and that is of course Dune. I'll be giving my spoiler-free thoughts. So let's talk about the movie, let's just jump into it.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low. Rolling over the sands, you can see spice in the air.
Oh, okay. I'm annoyed with myself pretty much because I was wanting this to be my favourite movie of the year. I was going into this thinking, yes, please, can this be exactly what all the hype says it is? And for me personally, it just wasn't at all. It wasn't bad in any way. It was a good movie, just it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and it really let down my expectations, and that's for a few reasons that I'll get into. My biggest issue with this movie is how it doesn't tell a complete story. Obviously, it was always going to be part one to a massive saga. Anyone who knows anything about the Dune books would know that. But this still fails to tell a satisfying story for me, because something like Star Wars A New Hope or Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, these are both part ones in massive sagas. But they both still tell a complete and coherent story within their own movie. And Dune just does not do that, and that was the main source of my disappointment for me. I think the pacing was a bit uneven and it ended so abruptly. One thing I really loved about this movie was the first act. I think the world building was fantastic, and I think they set up this world and introduced us to these characters and these themes and the world in general so well. I think that was done excellently, and I really enjoyed that portion of it. But I think they did spend too much time on this stuff. In hindsight, I think they spent too much time on this stuff because later on they just brush over other events that happen, which I think would be more major. They just brush over things that happen when I would like to see these things explored in more depth. They just spend so long on Act 1, brush over Act 2, and then Act 3 is a bit, it's not fully there because I think it does end abruptly. I think if you just tighten the pacing in a lot of these places, then you would have had a more satisfying ending and a more satisfying story overall. I know I am being very negative, but I did like this movie. There was a lot of stuff I did like. Obviously, it was immensely beautiful. I think the scale was there. The cinematography was fantastic. Maybe a bit too dark in some parts, but that's just nitpicking. I really loved the look of this movie. All the actors were amazing. This has some of my favourite actors in ever. I think this has got an absolutely phenomenal cast, and this movie really delivers on that. I think it utilises all these actors. They utilise all the actors very well, apart from a lot of them don't get a lot of screen time, but that's not a fault I have with the movie, that's not a complaint. So I think the cast is incredible. It is just the pacing and where they decide to end the story which is the main source of my concern. As another source of my disappointment is kind of the trailer. Is misleading in a lot of ways. A lot of the shots in the trailers and a lot of what they showed seem to imply that this movie is set on a much larger scale and across a much larger time span, and more stuff happens than the trailer shows. But so much of the trailer is just barely in the movie for reasons I'm not going to get into when I'm not talking about spoilers. And I think that is an issue for me. I think the trailer is quite misleading and has kind of brought down my estimation of this movie quite a bit, which is unfair on the movie, I suppose, because it's the trailer's fault. But I can't help the fact that I went into this movie with a set of expectations because of what the trailer laid out, and then what the trailer promises the movie didn't really deliver on in quite a few areas. There was some awesome action, there were some really tense bits, the music was absolutely beautiful. I feel bad for complaining so much because I did enjoy this movie. I think overall it worked. So yeah, world building, actors, acting, the writing, the dialogue was really special sometimes. There was some really tense moments. There was some fantastic just clues for the furtherment of this saga setting up, which I thought was also really interesting. Just for me, it didn't do enough. I think it felt quite hollow in a lot of ways, and that is my main complaint. I did give this movie 3.5 stars still, because like I said, 7 out of 10, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't it wasn't the promised movie that I was expecting. It wasn't the best movie of the year by a long shot. It wasn't that, and that's what I wanted. And this could all change. Now my expectations are more in line. Maybe this time next week I'll go watch it again, and by then hopefully I'll like it more, because I'm really annoyed with myself for not liking this movie as much as I could have. I wish with all my heart that I could have loved this movie, but I just couldn't. So yeah, that's my hope, that I can enjoy this movie more. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. Timothée Chalamet was great. Oscar Isaac was fantastic. Good writing, great world building, beautiful movie, amazing score. Just, it ended abruptly, and that's how I'm gonna end this review. I'm going to try and end this review in a more satisfying way than that movie ended. I would still recommend it a watch, because I hope I'm in the minority here. I hope other people love it, because I am really annoyed with myself that I don't like it, and when I go to rewatch it, I'm really going to try and like it this time. And hopefully, if my opinion changes, I'll be sure to let you all know. But for now, I'm afraid I've got to stick with a 3.5 stars, which really pains me. I wish I liked it more, and I am genuinely, like, I've been just thinking about how much this movie let me down, and how much I wanted to like it. This has been on my mind for since I watched it last night now, and I'm really annoyed about it. So I'll stop blabbering on. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, please remember to comment, please remember to subscribe. Just comment down below, tell me why I'm wrong and why you love this movie, and then I'll let you guys know my thoughts once I've finally rewatched it, because I'm so annoyed that I've been so negative. I wish I liked this movie more. But with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.